You're listening to Passed Out, the podcast where history, mystery, the occult, and the cosmos collide. Every week we explore new conspiracies, uncover hidden truths, question the impossible, and journey into the unknown. Stay curious, and welcome to Passed Out. Welcome to Passed Out. I'm Josh. We just watched the Mortal Kombat trailer for Mortal Kombat 2. My first takeaways so far, I love Carl Urban as Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Just really, really good casting choice there. I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but seeing the trailer the other night of like his like fake movie trailer, I was like, okay, I can see what they're doing, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah, so they're going up with the washed up actor angle. One minor thing I've noticed is he's really trying to hide his Australian accent. Like when Raiden pulls up on him in the parking lot, the way he says like, "Tell me you're not crazy fans." Like it's like he's saying only fans. And the way he says that is pretty funny. And then he switches to like kind of a New York accent when he's talking to Sonya. He's like, "This shit ain't for me." He goes all kind of like Brooklyn all of a sudden. He's like, "Hey, what you got over here? I don't want this Shao Kahn guy. Hey."
I forget that he's Australian.
Yeah, he does a good enough job to where.
Yeah, dude. I've seen him in so many movies where he's just speaking in like an American accent.
Yeah, because Billy.
Do you watch The Boys?
Yeah, Billy Butcher.
Yeah, I love The Boys. He's great in that, and I really like. Dude, he's so good in Star Trek. Like I love him as the Doctor.
He's been in a lot of shit. He was even in Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He's Eomer in Lord of the Rings, which is a side character, but like he's like one of the best side characters.
Right. Well, let's break that before we break it down. Did you see the news for the new Judge Dredd with Waiko Tatiti or
with
whatever his
Waika
name is?
Taititi. Yeah, Waika Taititi.
Sounds like
or Taika Waititi. Yeah, how do you feel about that? Him doing Judge Dredd?
I hope they don't make it too comedic. The tone of the one with Carl Urban in it is perfect. Like he was
I really like that
absolutely
movie.
perfect Judge Dredd. And I don't think they're going to have him in that. They really got to find someone who can. I mean, I know he has a mask on the whole time, so you don't have to worry about if it looks like Carl Urban, but you really need that monotone, soulless kind of guy that you could get behind, which is so hard to do.
Yeah.
But going back to the Mortal Kombat trailer, I'll say what my minor criticisms first. You could really tell it's a green screen on some parts, that the budget's pretty low.
Yeah, there's one the fatality where Scorpion cuts Sub-Zero in like half. That the CGI right there is really bad. I hope that they upgrade some of the CGI. A lot of the time when they put the trailer out, and how long do you have before the movie comes out? Like 3-4 months. So
yeah,
like 4 months right now. So you still have they're still probably working on the VFX.
Well, one thing about that is it's Noob Saibot technically, because when the original Sub-Zero dies in the first game, he goes to the Nether Realm, becomes Noob Saibot, and Noob Saibot he has two names for a reason. One is Noob, one Saibot. Saibot's kind of the shadow figure. So when he does the spear on Noob Saibot, he pulls out the shadow, and I think he just kills a shadow. So that may be why it looks weird. Hopefully that's the reason, because I don't think you're seeing him kill Bi-Han, which is the name of the original Sub-Zero there. I think he's just killing the shadow. And so hopefully, what do you think of Bald Jade?
Can you explain one thing to me?
Yeah.
I think Jade looks good. I don't so. But my one question was about Scorpion. Like, how is that version of Scorpion like alive and, like, moving around. Like, did I understand the ending of the last movie? Because like, I kind of felt like he just came back to help his ancestor at the end of the last movie, and, like, I thought that was kind of what like, the last of what we were gonna see of him, but,
Yeah, well, it seems in the game, Hanzo Hasashi is the name of the ninja that
mhm,
gets killed by Sub-Zero or Quan Chi, whoever you want it, depending
yeah,
on the universe. And he makes a pact with um, the devil essentially to get sent to the nether realm, and because he wants to seek revenge more than anything. His soul's not at rest, and that's where he becomes Scorpion.
okay,
You get a kind of a code name in the nether realm or whatever.
yeah,
um so he's a specter.
okay,
And that in that fight, it seems like they're fighting in the nether realm, which makes sense because he
mhm,
kills Sub Zero and probably casts him to the nether realm. And that whole fight, even Jade, I don't know how Jade gets there. That'll probably all play out. One character they didn't show was Quan Chi, so he might open up as a necromancer the portals to the nether realm, which kind of explains why one of my favorite parts in that trailer is when Kung Lao and Liu Kang are facing each other in that portal,
yeah,
even though the portal kind of looks CGI too. But that's like from Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, the blue portal stage, and it looks very, very, very authentic. And that's either Shang Tsung morphed into Kung Lao, or that's Quan Chi bringing Kung Lao as a revenant. So we'll see what happens there. Another few things I saw was you see a glimpse of Sindel and Sonya fighting on the
mhm,
bottom of the pit stage with the spikes. I'm really excited for that.
okay, what did I see that I really liked? Baraka looks fucking great.
Yeah, I think so too. It's
Yeah,
been
dude, he looked good. I was like, "Okay, this is a good character design," and, dude, I liked how katanas were kinda just fucking spinning up there, and you're like, "Okay, it's pretty sick."
when she kicks it, that thing's
Yeah,
so
dude, I
badass.
know. I was like, this is cool." That looked good, and then some of the CGI looked bad, but that looked pretty good.
I also thought when Liu Kang casts the fire and then shoots it at Shao Kahn, I thought that looked
Mhm.
amazing too.
Yeah, it looks good, so hopefully some of the spotty effects they're still working on, so
I hope so. It seems like they've done a lot of screenings. I'm trying to stay away from spoilers because I've read them before, but I don't think they've remained the same due to feedback and all that. Um, but if it ends up like how I think it is, there's definitely room for a third one, and I hope it has enough success to warrant that in a year or two.
yeah. Are they doing a new TV show?
Um, I have not heard of
Okay,
anything. No. I wish. I wish they still did the animation too.
yeah.
Those were
Was
really
that
good.
Legends?
Yeah.
That was really good, yeah.
Mhm. I haven't seen the Johnny Cage one though, unfortunately. But I saw the Kenshi one, Snowblind. That was my favorite one, just because it's its own story and really unique take on it.
Yeah.
Um, well, you saw Superman.
I did see Superman, it was really good. There were I ran into a couple things where I was like, just kinda playing suspension of disbelief, but, like, for the most part, it was really fun. It was it was really good. I thought that David Corenswet was a great Superman. Rachel Brosnahan is probably my favorite Lois Lane now. Like,
Wow.
she played that shit so good. The 2 of them they had great chemistry. The way that the whole movie, they're kind of bickering with each other, like, they're in, like, a fight, like, they're in the early stages of their relationship in the beginning of the movie,
Mm.
and, like, her views on she has views that he doesn't that he his views are very Superman, like, we do things because they're right, and she
Spoiler, by
takes
the way. Let's shoot out a spoiler alert there before we get further.
Do we have can we put up a spoilers flag somehow? I could do it. I'll put up a spoiler flag in post on this
Okay,
part of the
cool.
episode so that people know that there are spoilers here. I wasn't gonna ruin everything, but I will just kind of go into a little bit of detail on some of the
Does she
stuff.
know does she know he's Superman in the
Yes,
beginning?
she
And he
knows.
knows that she knows?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, they kind of play on that, like, pretty close to the opening of the movie is, like, her interviewing him, which was in a lot of the trailers, but that scene is amazing, and, like, his switch from his Clark Kent to Superman voice is fantastic. Like, just, like, the way he turns it on, like, he was a good Clark Kent, but, like, Clark Kent was barely in the movie. It was very Superman heavy. It was like
okay.
you had a couple scenes where he was like, "Oh, I'm playing the Clark Kent," but, like, it was definitely not like a Clark Kent sneaking around to be Superman kind of movie. There was not a single scene where somebody was like, "Where's Clark?" Not a single scene where they were like, "Oh, Clark Kent's missing because Superman got kidnapped." Not, not one. So there was barely any Clark Kent in it, but like when he was Clark Kent, he was great. But he was a good Superman. Nicholas Holt was amazing as Lex Luthor,
That's what I
and
hear.
dude, there's a scene that you'll really appreciate that I'm gonna ruin for you. But he there's a point where he's like holding hostage some guy in front of Superman, and he's like playing Russian roulette, shoots the guy right in the head, second bullet, and then he's like, "I thought this was gonna take a little bit longer than that." He's like, "We're gonna go get another guy," and I was like, "This is." I was like, I cannot believe that they just Russian roulette accidentally killed a guy second shot in a fucking Superman movie.
Yeah, that's true,
It's
huh?
like, so it was real James Gunn. If you like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, if you liked his take on uh the Suicide Squad, or if you like Peacemaker, if you like anything James Gunn has done, you will like his Superman movie. And I think he made some really good choices about the side characters. Nathan Fillion the as Guy Gardner, who's like the asshole Green Lantern,
I heard he was a
is
comic relief.
it's perfect, dude. You'll love Guy Gardner. I was like, I love this. I love this take on this character. I love what he's doing. I love that he's kind of an asshole. Like it was perfect. And Mr. Terrific was fantastic. And they had like some real B characters in there, like Metamorpho and stuff, which was actually pretty cool. I didn't know a whole lot about his comic origins, and I was a little confused about why he had so much screen time until I like went and did some research on the character and like the DC history. I'm not as much of a I'm real big on DC comics when it comes to just like the reprints of the graphic novels. So like obviously I've read like The Death of Superman and like I have a lot of Superman comics and I do have a lot of Batman comics, but like I'm not like super deep into the background lore of the DC universe like I am with Marvel. Like Marvel, there's a lot of shit happening in the background of the movies that I'm like, oh, this was this. This came from this run. This came from this run. This writer was doing that. This happened because of that. So like I'm real up on Marvel comics where I'm like not as I've never been as invested in DC other aside from just really loving Superman and really loving Batman. So but I've always been a pretty big Superman fan.
Where do you think they are leaving it off for the next movie? I've been hearing talks of like it might be a Bizarro or like a Zod kind of film.
So I don't think that Bizarro will show up in the next movie, but they definitely set up Bizarro. So this is like the biggest spoiler of the movie that I will probably, this is basically the spoiler of the movie is that at the end, um, when he's like in the final Lex Luthor showdown, they break open Ultraman's helmet to reveal that it is a clone of Superman, and that clone of Superman gets sucked into a black hole inside of a pocket reality as it's collapsing. And I'm assuming that that Superman got sucked into a black hole and will end up on Bizarro World, and he will return as Bizarro Superman. But I really did not get the vibe. I don't think they're going to do that the next Superman movie. I would probably, if I were them, I would save that for number 3, and I would do a different take on it because it's like, okay, you just your main fight was basically a Superman clone in the first movie. Like that
Do
was like
you
Lex
think
Luthor's biggest tool.
do you think there's a even slight possibility that Henry Cavill returns as Bizarro?
No,
No.
I no, I just the fact that like eh, it would be weird at this point to do that because like I don't think that get if David I don't think David Cornsweet's clone Superman getting sucked into a portal, coming back out of a different universe, coming back out looking like Henry Cavill. That's a little sus, right? Um,
Yeah, that's true. It's a complete clone.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
complete clone, so it looked just like David Cornsweet when he broke the Ultraman helmet,
I
which
see.
Ultraman was pretty. Ultraman was the costume looked great. It looked like one of fucking Luthor's like fucking like tech suits that he uses to fight Superman throughout the comic books. I kind of feel like that might be the route that they go next. If you have Lex Luthor, I think Lex Luthor will probably be in jail most of the next movie, but I do think he will get out because he does that all the time in the comic books and will come back with a scheme and come back with a new person that he thinks can beat Superman. That's just Lex's game.
Yeah, it's pretty
So,
much the Joker
but
of
yeah, dude, he is Superman's Joker. Um, but yeah, dude, it was great. Like what were some other things I really liked about it? But dude, supporting cast amazing. The girl they have playing Hawk Girl, fucking great. Like all like so basically like the Justice Gang is what they were calling it was pretty good. Which I'm assuming is eventually turns into the Justice League of America or the Justice Society of America, and then you'll actually have like the actual Justice League eventually. Um, but yeah, fucking Cosmo was fun. Which and then Millie Alcock showing up at the very end as Supergirl was fantastic. I thought she would make a great Supergirl initially when they first cast her because I really liked her in House as Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon. But man, when she rolls into the fucking Fortress of Solitude at the end of the movie and her outfit looked amazing, just it looked perfect. So I'm really stoked for Supergirl now, which
her
will be the
movie is
next.
supposed to be like a cyberpunk kind of aesthetic, right?
Yeah,
From
so
the
it's
few
based
screenshots I saw.
It's based on the script that they have is based on Supergirl World of Tomorrow, which World of Tomorrow is a darker take on Supergirl. It is a basically like Superman has the morals that Superman has because he grew up with his parents on a Kansas farm and he grew up with good people who instilled these good notions into him. Supergirl was on a adjacent planet and witnessed the destruction of Krypton. Now, that destruction of Krypton kind of sends her into just like a depressive kind of adolescent spiral through the galaxy where she's like just being a little destructive and she's like going to planets that have red suns where she can get drunk and she's kind of like a fucking party girl, so like she
Let's go
shows
to a
up
red
drunk.
sun. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, because like yeah, dude, they can't get drunk on Earth because the yellow sun makes them pretty much immune to everything. So if Superman wants to get drunk, he's got to go to a planet with a red sun, and he'll lose his powers, but he can get drunk.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's how they could put um like Mortal Kombat versus DC. Just throwing it out there. It would have to be an
yeah.
Earth with a red sun. Or Outworld would have to be in a like a realm with a red
Realm with a
sun.
red sun.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking take. So, but overall, I'm pretty excited for where the DCU is going. Like with the Supergirl movie, the only other thing I want to say about it is, that Lobo. I don't know who the villain is, but like Lobo shows up in Supergirl, and that's gonna be Jason Momoa as Lobo. So I'm pretty stoked about that. That's a great casting. So he really lobbied for that. The second that James Gunn took head of DC, he got a text from Jason Momoa that was just like Lobo, baby. That's, I was like, the fact that they were like, "Yeah, let's fucking do it. The fans want it." Like this has been like a Twitter movement for a long time.
That's awesome.
So the fact that they're just like leaning into what the fans want, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, so I did see a casting rumor that I thought would be great, and I think they're pretty far off from the Flash. But like, I saw a casting rumor that DC was meeting with Andrew Garfield to be the Flash, and I was like, okay. Instead of Spider Man, you come over as Flash, but like, dude, as like a little bit of an older fucking Barry Allen, I could see Andrew Garfield stepping into that so hard. You
Andrew
know,
Garfield, like, he was not liked at first as Spider-Man, and I think over time, people really appreciated him, kinda like Hayden Christensen was as,
as
Anakin.
which
I
I
think
don't.
time
Did
has been
you?
kind to them.
Yeah, dude, which I don't understand people who ran into Hayden Christensen being kind of a bad Anakin. Like I've always felt like that's probably how a 19-year-old would act in this situation.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
absolutely. So,
Like, "Nah,
and
bro. That's my girl, bro.
yeah, dude, you'd
I'm
be
gonna
like,
save my girl, bro."
"Yeah, bro." And you're like, but like you have all these like I think about like how I acted towards girlfriends when I was like 19 and then like how would I be if I had Jedi powers? Probably
"Bit
be the fucking I'd be fucking Darth Vader right now too.
yeah, bitch, you talking to Obi-Wan? The fuck?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't he played an annoying teenager, and
Yeah, dude. He
that's
did it
he did a
very
good
well.
job. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and, like, I really liked seeing his take on the character as, like, an older Hayden Christensen, like, seeing him in Ahsoka and, like, their interaction with, like, hi and, like, her memories of him being her master, and, like, just, like, revisiting scenes from the Clone Wars in, like, live action, so, like, I hope yeah, dude, I don't know, I feel like Andrew Garfield got that same treatment in Spider-Man No Way Home when he pops out of the
Right.
portal, I'm like, "Yes. Yes. Immediately. This is great."
Yeah. I think they did that
So,
great. Um,
yeah, they did.
one thing I noticed between I mean, Superman, it's obvious, but even with the Mortal Kombat trailer, I like the fact that these movies are not taking themselves as seriously or trying to make them too dark like a Christopher Nolan. I think that's kind of that phase of adaptations are over.
Yes,
And
I think people are craving more of a comic version of these characters. They tried it the realistic way. I have no hate on the X-Men movies for going realistic, and I think that, like, the Nolan Batman movies are fucking great. I love
yeah,
those movies. I
fantastic.
I even love I even love some of I don't hate everything that Zack Snyder did with DCEU. So like I think Man of Steel is a great fucking movie. But he doesn't feel like a good Clark Kent. He feels like
Mm-mm.
he's a great Superman, but he is not a good Clark Kent. I don't think I respect Amy Adams' take on Lois Lane a lot, but I don't think that the writing for Lois Lane really captured a good Lois Lane for me in Man of Steel. But in Man of Steel, I think the best thing about that movie is Michael Shannon as Zod. That portrayal of Zod, and also what I loved about that movie was what I really loved about Man of Steel was just the depiction of Krypton and the destruction of Krypton and just like what their world was like and like the advanced technology that they had and the political corruption of their society and just kind of how it
Mhm.
led to an energy crisis that destroyed their planet. Like I think that was a really cool opening scene to Man of Steel. And then I think that Michael Shannon, the way his take on Zod was perfect. I absolutely loved it. And they did, it was great. And I just don't think they were able to recreate that momentum when they went into Batman versus Superman. And I
Right.
just it just didn't work at that point. And like
Yeah,
I've tried to like those movies. I want to like those movies because there are things about those movies that I like, but as a whole, they're very hard to watch.
right. With the Zack Snyder, universe, especially with Man of Steel, it gave a lot of vibes as far as like the Anunnaki, the whole Anunnaki story, and Enki and Leo. You could say it's Zod and Superman.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's Enki who's sent back to Earth to live with the humans, and he is compassionate towards humans, and Zod is not. There's a lot of mirrors in there which are similar. Um, but they just did way too much too fast in that universe. We all know who Batman is, right? We don't need a backstory, but even then, it was so rushed. And then for them to mid movie with goddamn Martha, like that's what bonds you together after you guys are trying to beat each other's asses. Oh, he's a human being after all. Yeah, I see the human. That was so lame. And I think we touched on this before that Zack Snyder is a very good visuals kind of guy as far as writing scripts. I don't think so. I
No,
really
and
don't.
I've always felt that way about him. Like, look, I can't say like he's made some great movies.
Mhm.
300 is fantastic. You know, like he shot that, and based on Mark Miller's script, which really good. When somebody else writes his script, I think it's really good. And this is this is going to be controversial, but I love Zack Snyder's take on Watchmen.
That's controversial?
Yes, dude, people don't like Zack Snyder's take on fucking Watchmen, but like when I
Really?
read the Watchmen comic, I think that is pretty close to page to page. I think people are bothered by like playing Leonard Cohen in a sex scene, but like that sex scene happened in the comics exactly like that.
Yeah.
Like
I
there
didn't know. I that's personally my favorite Zack Snyder film is The
That is
Watchmen.
also my favorite Zack Snyder film, but I also love Watchmen. I love the source material. I love every piece of content that they've made out of Watchmen. I love that book. I love the Watchmen movie. I like the new animated DC recently made a two-part animated movie that's like 3 hours long, Watchmen 1 and 2. Great. True to the source material on those. The one thing that Zack Snyder really changed was the ending, where in the ending they make it look like Dr. Manhattan basically used his powers to basically set off a nuclear bomb in New York in the movie and destroy like part of New York. In the comic book, they use Dr. Manhattan's powers to like open a portal that brings in a giant squid that destroys New York.
Both
I
of
feel
those
way
are
more.
two ends of the Manhattan Project, though. So that's interesting they did it both ways. Because the official story, I think it was like nuclear bomb testing. And then the other was that it opened a portal to either a different timeline or a different
Yeah.
dimension. And like dudes were stuck on boats and shit when, they were completely displaced. And I never knew that about the other
About
Watchmen,
yeah,
but
the
it's
comic
interesting they
book, that's
did
what
both.
happens in the comic book. So, is like a giant squid basically comes and starts wreaking havoc, you know, where in the movie they're like, "Oh, Dr. Manhattan, basically turned his powers into a nuclear bomb that just like fucking took out half of New York City," which I think is a more realistic ending in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
but
I'd like to
um
think with the Manhattan Project, though, it was a different portal and
yeah.
not just nuclear testing.
I
But
I I want to too. I didn't know that. I had no idea that there was like a portal thing to
oh
that.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's a big
interesting.
rabbit hole about yeah, apparently people came back. They they were displaced, like snap of a finger, one place, and then they materialized in a completely other place, and there were sometimes objects in the way, like railing or whatever.
Hmm.
Or like they just were dropped in the ocean, and there's apparently documentation somewhere out there in the cosmos about this, but yeah, people were severed and it was a complete disaster.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on in those times. Have you seen those videos about uh, them nuking the oceans and like viewing it as it's happening. They put on the glasses, and then there's ships like nearby towards where they nuke, and it's just like they get completely obliterated. But they don't die, I don't think. It's just like, damn, you're so close.
So it's like the opening scene of every Godzilla movie. It's just like the ships floating out there and the nuke going off in the water.
That makes sense too, because
Yeah.
Godzilla is a Japanese creation, so they were
Mhm.
hoping that something came from the sea and fucked Americans up. Well,
Yeah.
like it fucks Tokyo up, but I can't watch a Godzilla movie. I've never been a fan,
I really like the new ones.
really.
They're not great, but there is some charm to them. The first Godzilla movies, I think I like it just because I like the cast. You know, it's got
It had
a
11 in it, right? I forget her name.
no, that's the second one. That's
Oh,
King of
okay.
the Monsters has her in it, and so does Godzilla versus Kong. And then Godzilla. I haven't watched Godzilla versus Kong: The New Empire, but I think the best thing that series has spit out is the Apple TV show Monarch, um, History of Monsters or whatever it is. That show is great. The cast in that is amazing, and you're basically watching the Monarch program, which is like responsible for like monitoring Godzilla and these giant monsters. But you're watching the inception of it in the 50s. And in the 50s, you're following one of the characters, which is Kurt Russell. You're following him in like the modern times as like an adult, as like an older version of Kurt Russell, but they have his son playing the same character as a young version of him in the 50s. So you like follow the Monarch program through his footsteps as from him as like the son version of him to him as like an adult. But like there's one scene where they have like Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell standing back to like they use a projector to like push their faces onto each other, and I was like, man, I was like, you guys look so fucking alike. It's crazy.
This
Which
begs the
like I
question.
I see it, the older that I get, I look more like my dad. So
Yeah. I don't know why they don't create a Rampage World Tour movie where it's kind of lighthearted. Have you seen Twisted
wasn't
Metal?
there a Rampage movie with The Rock?
No way.
Yes, dude. There's a Rampage movie with The Rock in it from like I think 2017 or 2018 maybe.
Oh
Are you
man.
looking this up?
Oh my God, there was.
Yeah, dude.
But it was just a big, it was a monkey.
Yeah, it's just the monkey, but like the game had like there were 3, weren't there in the game?
Yeah, there was a lizard or like a Godzilla type looking thing, the monkey, and then there was a mouse too, but that wasn't the main one. It was a mouse, um, lizard, wolf. Oh, okay, wolf was the last one.
Mm.
That was Ralph. Lizard was Lizzie, and then gorilla was George. Have you seen Twisted Metal?
No, not yet. Is it good? I
They
like
had
Anthony Mackie, so
The first
I just
season
haven't watched it
apparently
yet.
was fantastic, and then I saw a trailer for the second season, and that looks really good too. Anthony Mackie is an executive producer, and Will Arnett, he's in the show as well as was it what's his clown's name? Stu? No, I'm getting that wrong. But the clown dude, the main guy of the
Yeah.
franchise, and he does the voice for it, and then Samoa Joe, the wrestler, plays
Mm.
he does the
Like the
action
body.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the body. And I saw the trailer, not knowing much about the game, obviously, but it looks so good. It's such a high production value for a TV show.
Yeah.
Granted, it's Peacock, but um, that just comes to
Dude,
show you.
Peacock dude, I'm not mad at Peacock. Peacock made fucking they made Poker Face.
And they do Fallout too, right? Is
No,
that Prime?
Fallout's Prime.
Okay. Man, these video game movies, I knew it. I've always said this that like
It's
once the phase of the comic book movies wear off, you're going to see people old enough to create movies that are high budget and it's going to start being video game movies.
Yeah.
You'll start seeing, like, with Zelda, the casting of that,
Did
Street Fighter.
have you seen the cast that they've cast for Link and Zelda?
I like it.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
I
I
don't know
like it
these.
too. I
It's
don't know who
better
they
to be
are.
known. Yeah,
I think it's better to go the not known route
exactly.
like, I feel like if you pick too much of a legacy actor, then it becomes like a thing. But I saw a lot of people are mad that they didn't cast Hunter Schafer.
I hate to say this. I'm glad. I'm glad they didn't. There's so many cisgender women that deserve a shot at that. And Hunter might look like Zelda in a few
Hunter really
scenes,
does look like, yeah, she really does look like Zelda in like a few of the games. More
in
more modern Zelda.
few
Yeah.
angles, but the voice, you can't. The, the voice, I'm sorry, but your voice is not Princess of Hyrule. I'm sorry. It's just not. That's the reality of it. They
Yeah.
want to make her into a Gerudo Valley, like what's her name? Someone from Gerudo Valley. I could totally see that, but I saw something mean where it was like Ganondorf is still available, and that kind of gave me a chuckle. Like
I still think they should get The Rock to play Ganondorf, but
Jason Statham, dude,
yeah, 100%. I see it. I could totally see it.
the accent, everything. He
Mhm.
might be too short, but
What if they don't even do a Ganondorf angle in this game? What if they go like one of the
demise.
non yeah, like what if they go like one of the non-Ganondorf stories?
I think the only thing that could work if you're gonna introduce the story, you might have Ganondorf in the background pulling the strings, but
Yeah.
you would have to either have Demise or Dark Link.
Shadow Link, yeah.
Yeah, and could tie into like an ocarina story, but I can't see them going. There has to be either Link to the Past or Ocarina, unless if they go literally Zelda 1.
Ocarina, do you need 2 actors in Ocarina if you go that route? Do you need a young Link and an old Link?
That's a good point.
Like, the actor that they picked for Link looked pretty young, right? If I
Yeah, they're
remember
both
this
like
correctly?
early 20s, I want to say, maybe 20,
Okay.
21.
So, like, yeah, but, like, even then, you're like I think your jump is really between, like, a 10-year-old Link and, like, probably, like, a 20-year-old Link, right?
Well, hopefully they don't have to pay these actors much because Link isn't going to speak except for hiya.
Ah!
um, that's going to be so weird if he speaks in the movie, dude.
If he
Unless if
doesn't
it's like
speak
the
in the movie
cartoon.
bro, if he doesn't speak in the movie, half the, half of the movie is basically just, like, him wandering around and literally the only audio on the screen is just going, "Hey, listen!
Yeah.
Hey, listen!
Press C up.
Listen!"
Oh no. Who are they? You think a fairy is going to be following him?
I hope so. It's like a big part of it's a big part of the Zelda lore,
He might be with traveling with Zelda.
maybe.
So it might be the both of them. She might be Sheik. Who knows?
I
There's
think
a
that's dude, I think going Ocarina and having, your Zelda be a bigger character with the Sheik angle is a great I really think that that's the best story that they have.
yeah. She's in exile because
Yeah.
whoever, whether it be Demise, Ganon taking over Hyrule Castle, and there's some sort of revolution or uprising against that darkness. Um, I
I would
really
love
can't
to
think.
see I would love to see Twilight Princess, but I think Twilight Princess would work better as a TV show, just like a really fucking creepy TV show.
Or it could work as a sequel, maybe once some story is
Maybe.
established. Maybe Link dies in the first movie, and then you have him come back in the Twilight Princess. There's so many angles. They could just create a whole new fucking movie
They
and then
could.
have that correspond with the game. I don't think
And
that's
that's
outside the possibilities.
it is not outside of possibilities. Think about how they did Mario.
Yeah, I mean, they was there a game tied to that though?
No, not really. Exactly, but that's exactly
Yeah,
it's not like they're pulling from the game storylines to be like, "We're gonna make a Mario movie," you know? They're just like,
right.
"We're gonna make a Mario movie where they're just doing their thing set inside this world,"
I think
you
that
know?
was a missed opportunity for Nintendo. They should have released a game with that. But
Yeah.
I could see it being so hard, especially with how long development takes these days.
Mhm. Yeah, dude, especially for game development. I feel like game development is movie development seems like it's moving pretty quick. I feel like from script to screen, you could do a movie in about 2 years. Maybe animation's a little bit longer, but like I see more and more companies starting to use, there's more companies starting to use AI now to speed this shit up. Netflix I saw today that Netflix is releasing their first movie this weekend that used AI for special effects.
Wow.
That's gonna be I think that's gonna be a huge thing. We'll see. We'll see. I think I've made my peace with the AI thing at this point because I think the ship's gonna right itself. I think that what is about to happen is we are going to see the emergence of people using AI to make art, whether it's music, whether it's to write, whether it's to do special effects for movies, whether it's to, make animated movies. I think you're going to see a shift because they want, these studios and all these people want to make it cheaper to do these things. But I think you're going to see a huge hidden quality. And I think you're going to start to lose your audience. And then I think it's going to be valuable again to be an artist at that.
We'll see. Do you know what the movie is that's releasing?
I can look real quick. Um, was there anything else you really wanted to touch on today? I don't think we didn't go that deep into we didn't really go that deep into the Anunnaki and stuff if you want to.
Yeah, no, that might be a story for another time. There's so much shit with the Anunnaki, and that might tie in with the Fantastic Four, which is
Yeah,
also
it
coming
could.
out. It's going to
Yeah.
be out by the time the next episode comes through.
Yeah.
So, do you think that's going to do well in theaters?
Fantastic 4.
Yeah.
It's not tracking right now to do as good as Superman, but
Oh yeah, it was never going to do as well as Superman.
I'm really excited for it, but um I love Marvel. Now Fantastic 4 has never been my favorite Marvel thing. It's always been the X-Men and it will always be the X-Men and like Iron Man and like like the Avengers stuff is definitely a close second to me for the X-Men and but like yeah, I've never been the biggest Fantastic Four fan, but like I like this cast. I
Silver
think that
Surfer is
this is
always the
a
coolest part of
yes,
Fantastic
dude, and the
Four.
fact that they're going Silver Surfer, also the fact that they got Ralph Ineson to play Galactus, I think that that is going to be a really good take. Like that is probably the thing I am most excited for. And then I'm really curious, like I want to see who Natasha Lyonne shows up as because they still haven't said who she's playing. So I'm just like, okay, there's a
Hmm.
secret Natasha Lyonne role in this movie, and you know how
Hmm.
I feel about her. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's go. But like, you know,
Exciting stuff. Now, uh, last thing I want to say is I just thought of our thumbnail for this show. Guess. Just take a wild guess on what's been really popular this week and what would be a easy thumbnail between two people.
Mortal Kombat.
Astronomer CEO getting caught at the
Yes,
Coldplay concert.
at a Coldplay concert.
Imagine why would
What a
you like I'm
what?
not like that I'm condoning cheating, but imagine getting caught like that and then you just who the fuck is watching Coldplay live feeds for like a couple kiss cam for you to be like, "Oh my god, people are going to see this." Apparently they were there by themselves. Like you just could have played it cool and kind of done a little smile for the camera, a little kiss. Would have been over.
Yeah. But the way that they reacted turned it into like a global news fucking article.
It's so weird how that's taken.
Dude, it took over my feed like the last 2 days pretty much.
My tinfoil hat says this. that it's to put something in our heads and the mainstream news that's away from this Epstein, Trump, even
Probably.
Obama thing. And like, yeah, let's feed him some bullshit while we take care of this and make fun of some couple. They look like they were both CIA anyways. You know,
They
they're like, let's
absolutely,
do a
yeah,
false flag kiss cam event.
yeah.
You know, that's
I
just my
think you're
tinfoil.
probably it probably is a conspiracy though to get rid of the it probably is just like they're like, "We need to blow something out of the water to
I'm
fucking
sure
get
the
people
event
off of
did
this."
happen, but
Absolutely.
it blowing up, I don't know why it resonated with people so much. It's fucking hilarious, don't get me wrong,
It's because it's
but
everywhere, dude, like, literally, like,
yeah.
every news what happens is, like, you get, like, one reputable news source or not reputable news source anymore, just post you get a big news media company posting something, and then every other one was like, "Oh, they're getting likes on this. Post, post, post." Now everybody's talking about it. We're doing the same fucking thing. We're talking about it right now.
No, we're not. We're doing
Like,
something completely
it
original.
you start it's just some things enter the zeitgeist, you never know what they're gonna be, and then they just kinda take over the feed for a couple days.
Dude, Aldi's fucking had something. It was some meme. It was like the them two. I forgot what it said, but it was pretty funny. My favorite one was I don't think it was their official page, but King of the Hill, and it had John Redcorn and Nancy.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I love
Uh,
that one. And there's just a bunch of AI ones where it's like ridiculous. But yeah, that kind of covers where I want it to go. My eyes are
I
starting to
have a
burn.
couple other things just because 'cause I'm curious about, it's been a real big I just wanna get this out before it passes, but it's been a really big week for rap beef. Are you seeing any of this?
I saw, was it Skepta
Yes.
releasing something to my current favorite mainstream rapper, Joyner Lucas. I
Look, dude,
didn't listen to it though.
I'm a big fan of both of these rappers. So like for me, I'm like, oh, this is a heyday. I didn't. So what happened? How do you want the backstory? Which I'll tell our listeners the backstory on this too. Basically, Skepta tweeted like 10 days ago and was like, the UK is better than the US for
Fucking
rappers.
Drake started this.
So he was like, "You're probably right," because Drake was like on his Canada shit, and then fucking Skepta and the UK rappers were probably like, "What the fuck?" Which I agree with him. The UK is a slept on fucking rap scene. Slept on. Such a good scene. But
They only sound good over drum and bass, in my opinion.
which
Merca
dude,
first.
Skepta's crushing it on some drum and bass beats. I can send you a couple songs where he's
Yeah.
killing it on a drum and bass song. Okay, but so he basically sends that tweet out like, "Who wants to say something?" And then Joyner tweets at him and basically is like, I accept the challenge. Well, Skepta thought that he was taking too long to put the diss track out, so Skepta wrote a diss track about him called Friendly Fires and just puts it out first. And then Joyner answered with Nobody Cares, and Nobody Cares I think is hilarious. Great fucking beat. His rap is really good, but what I think is hilarious is the cover is him. He's got himself completely wrapped in a UK flag, and he's got his fucking finger up to his head like this. I'm like, okay, okay. So that's great. And then Skepta, yeah, like 2 days ago, drops another track aimed at him, which is honestly my favorite track in this whole beef, and that's called Round Two. And I think Round Two, I it depends on how. Essentially, in round two, Skepta calls Joyner Lucas an Eminem clone. So I'm just like, he called him the Black Stan, and I'm like, uh, I like the beat. I
That's like a
like
double
his
entendre though, because he's like a stan of, I don't know, I'm overthinking this. But like maybe not literally Slim Shady, but it could be
yeah.
considered like he's a stan of things. He's not like a authentic dude.
Yeah, so I don't know where this goes from here. I'm sure Joyno will respond to round two. I'm curious if Eminem gets involved now, which bring
It's
it.
over.
I love when Eminem gets involved. So,
Hey,
but
UK has some good rappers for sure. Like Deltron comes to mind.
yes, my favorite UK rapper is I can't think of his name right now, which makes it probably look like he's not my favorite, but I will tell you. Koji Radical.
Never
Koji
heard of him.
Radical, hands down, is my favorite UK rapper. He's so good. Um,
The rap's kind of like da 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 da
that's
da da
exactly how
da da
UK.
da.
That's exactly how every UK rapper raps. but like, but dude, like, I, I feel like it's hard to have an authentic flow anymore because, like, I think we've probably touched on every style of cadence and flow that there is. You know, and
True.
like, and the only, and like, and if there are any unexplored pockets, Kendrick will get you. Will get there. Like, I feel like Kendrick just constantly evolves his flow into like something crazy. So I feel like he's always trying. He's always pretty inventive. But like, I feel like a lot of guys. I feel like once you got your flow, you got your flow. Like, and I can't not say the same shit about myself. I feel like every rap that I put on our records kind of sounds the same. But like, that's how I flow. That's my style. I'm also not trying to be the best rapper. I just feel like that hip hop vocals on whatever rock production we were doing just sounded good. I like the reggae approach. I like what Dirty Heads is doing. Like
Hmm.
so like that's kind of where I'm coming from when I'm starting to do stuff on
Have
that
you heard
end.
of Little Planet?
No, but
They're pretty cool. They remind me of like a new age Long Beach Dub All Stars. I thought it was that when I
I
heard.
love Dub All Stars, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's so good.
very reminiscent of them. So I'm excited. I guess they're relatively new. Um, they played at the Reggae Rise Up here in Tampa
Yeah,
not too long ago, and they've been getting a lot of love. So reggae is, as you know, one of my favorite genres of all time. So simple, and there's
I
a lot
know.
of repetition, but it's all about love and
I know, dude. It's such a vibe, dude. Like
yeah.
when I want to feel at peace, that is what I go to when I'm feeling extremely anxious, very stressed out, and I'm like, I just need to like find a chill. I go to reggae. Like that's my like I need to calm down. When I want to be angry and I want to be in that fucking like I'm ready to fucking fight and like I need to be in this like kind of anxious like drive, I'm listening to emo, I'm listening to metal, I'm listening to like heavy rock, but like I'm listening to I'm listening to hip hop in between everything just cuz like hip hop kind of can cover all of my emotions.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, just I fucking love music all around in general,
It's all
but
right. Music's
yeah.
all right.
There was a have you heard of Alific or Alific? I heard they have a reggae cover of Bittersweet Symphony that is phenomenal. You would fucking love it.
There's so many songs I want to cover in a reggae style. If they cease and desist us, who gives a shit? We should just do it. Even
Oh,
sending it to each other.
I've got some cover licenses worked out that we can talk about offline. But
Okay.
let's end on the reggae. Just good vibes today, guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoy our review of Superman. As always, like and subscribe. And until next week, pass out.
Later.